I'd like to share something with you about prayer. Very often we pray with a specific outcome in mind, and we believe it's good for us, and when it doesn't happen, we're terribly disappointed, and we wonder why God doesn't come through for us. And some of us even believe that God never answers our prayers, or they bounce off the ceilings. You've heard people say things like that before, but I want to tell you that that is not true. God answers every single prayer. Firstly, we need to be specific about what it is that we're asking for, and which helps. We need to also have the right motivation in prayer. Why are we asking for whatever it is that we're asking for? And we must remember that God knows us. He created us. He knows us. He knows what's good for us. So I just want to remind you about the character of God. In Isaiah 55:8, he says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." So he's telling us that I'm different to you. I don't think the same way that you do. So when prayers are not answered, give him some credit. He knows what he's doing. He's working behind the scenes to set things up, to make them come about according to his will for your life. And he knows better, believe me. We had experienced a prayer experience where we prayed for something specific, and it didn't happen. Certainly not the way that we expected it to. We were very disappointed, and I often wondered why. And then about 3.5 years later, the answer did come, but in an entirely different way. And what God actually provided, the answer that he provided, was so much better than what we'd actually prayed for originally. He knew that we wouldn't have been happy with the thing ultimately that we'd prayed for. So I was absolutely blown away when I realized. I thought, oh my gosh, how I thought he hadn't answered the prayer, or that it hadn't been good for us, and I just shrugged it off. But you know what? I've learned something. God always answers our prayers. He hears every prayer we pray, and he answers every prayer. Not always the way we expect him to, but I promise you he hears them. In 1 John 5:15, it says, and if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we have asked of him. And that's obviously always in accordance with his will, of course, and with the right motivation. So please don't be discouraged if you've prayed and you haven't had an answer to your prayer yet. Keep believing. He will come through for you. Just keep praising him, giving him all the glory, thanking him, and you may remind him, but I promise you, when the time is right, when you've changed to the point where you can handle whatever it is that he's going to give you, I promise you that prayer will be answered. So take courage, keep praying, keep believing, rest in him. He will answer at the right time, in the right way. Bye.